Are you waiting to build something big? That's the biggest mistake most people make. We refused to wait, we're in our 20s, and we built a home improvement company past $10 million. Not because we knew everything, but because we were desperate enough to figure it out along the way. If you don't want to waste decades playing it safe, and if you're ready to build success earlier and live stories worth telling and stay ahead of the curve, subscribe now. Let's get into the episode.
Today's guest, Justin Pates, once a design consultant, now the youngest regional sales manager at AE Landscape Borders. He's driven by a passion for making a real difference in people's lives. Believes your uniqueness is your greatest advantage, and he's fresh off a big win, refinancing his car. Let's dive in. Shall we?
We shall.
There's no one with us today, right? But today's topic is going to be skip the competition through authenticity. And I feel like we're currently in the stage, Justin, where people are using authenticity not as a state of being, but rather as a strategy. And I know you're the one who put me on this. You're super passionate about it. I believe Alex Ramosi is the one who kind of put you on it. Give the viewers your initial thoughts on it.
I think one of the best ways to win is to find what makes you different or authentic and double down on that. Like, for example, us, like we're AE Landscape Borders. Like we're not AE Landscape Hardscape. We're not AE cutting grass. Like we're only doing one thing, and like that is what we are best at, right? I mean, yes, we do rubber mulch, but it's like you double down on the one thing that you are good for, and anyone else who doesn't have that natural gift can't compete with you because it's who you are authentically. Does that make sense?
So they talk about authenticity being there's only one of one, right? Mm-hmm. There's only one of you, there's only one of me. So authenticity is the measurement is only against yourself, whereas the competition or competing is the measurement against someone else. Mm. So just like you said, how does somebody watching this go back and master authenticity?
Well, it's really uncomfortable because it takes a lot of like self-reflecting. I think that's what it starts with, because you're competing because you're looking externally. Like the man next to you is doing this, so I'm going to copy him. And it definitely takes looking, reflecting as who you are as a person, like whether your strengths or weaknesses, and like what makes you different, and just, again, double down on that. I think most of the time it's the stuff that people are most ashamed of putting out there. Like they put a filter on what makes them unique, and that is kind of what gets people stuck in competition. But if they kind of just let go of that whole, caring what other people think or worrying about the repercussions of like actually showing their true colors, that's where it starts. And I mean, once you can embody the version of you that actually is you, I think the confidence will replace the competition.
When you talk about that, and I know we discussed this a little bit yesterday or 2 days ago, the level of fulfillment, because that's ultimately what you're looking for as an individual, right? If you can wake up every single day and live your most fulfilled life, you won. Mm-hmm. Do you think competing with other people externally, using those external things, will ever find you that internal fulfillment, or do you think you have to be authentic to get that fulfillment?
Well, I think it also just comes back to knowing what you want out of life. And I think the people that don't know what they want find it in other people, and they don't have a direction. Like, we're social creatures. There's so many studies of like people, that's a crowd of, 10 people, and they'll ask a question that is blatantly like the answer is just super obvious, and it's a test where the majority of people will answer the question wrong, and the people that don't know it's a test will answer the question the same way the majority of the group did, like knowing the answer wasn't true. And I think, I mean, to bring it back, like internally, that's the only competition you should be having. I mean, the win is when you make yourself better. It's not when you accomplish something that you don't necessarily care about, because once that win happens, it's gone. Like there's stories all the time of, Olympic gold medalists that win the gold medal, but then after that they go into a deep depression because you're constantly just reaching, right? And if you can, internally figure out what it is you want and completely disregard what's happening outside of that, you will find that alignment.
Sounds like what you're saying is like there has to be a level of self-reflection first to actually determine what it is that you want / who you are to get to what you want.
That's what a lot of people miss, though, is like self-reflecting, because the idea of a win internally, like for example, even like me financing my car, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not a
Don't
big
call
deal.
me out. Don't call me out for shitting on you before the show for refinancing.
I was going to, but I passed it. But like it matters to you. And I think when you die at the end of your life, you're not going to care about wins that matter to somebody else. Like it's only going to be like how you treated yourself. What did you accomplish that actually matters to you?
Just freaking live.
Yeah.
Just freaking live. I think the authenticity like truly does remove the comparison, right? Because like we talked about, there's only going to be, one of one. So when you're at your truest, most authentic version of yourself, there's really never going to be a comparable. When you look at people out in society, like the stages you've been through, me, anybody out there, do you think people are chasing competition, or sometimes they're just afraid to be authentic because of what other people will think?
It's a really good question, man. I think people are avoiding authenticity, therefore they fall into competition with the person next to them. Does that make sense? Because again, I mean, it makes you vulnerable. Like being authentic, like the path, because it's unlike anybody else's, is so dark and scary and daunting to where like they just don't even look that way. But when they conform to what is known and, the path that is lit and all that, they find themselves in competition because so many people are looking that way as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, which I think, I mean, again, I've never heard you state it that way, but that makes a ton of sense as to why why the mainstream is in competition, just because they truly haven't found the best version or what would make them the best version of themselves.
Absolutely. Like if you're in a race and you're competing with somebody, you're chasing them. But if you're in a race and you're truly authentically like doing what you want, you're evolving. Like you're not chasing, you're evolving. And like that's how you grow and completely separate yourself from any competition. Does that make sense?
I'm when we talk about a race, I'm actually going back to high school track. I was a star track athlete. Said no one ever.
Pull the clips.
pull the clips. It was always interesting because I felt like, honestly, whenever I ran against just me and myself against my time that I had previously ran, I honestly don't think I ran as fast versus if I was running against competition. So this would be going in the complete opposite direction of what our topic is. When I did run against somebody else, like it gave me somebody to push myself against, in which I think I ran a faster time. So is competition always a bad thing?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think even to piggyback off of what you said, like we were running 40s, like for our 40-yard dash for football training. And like same thing, like having somebody in front of you definitely makes you want to push further. But I think when it comes to, business or life, like obviously there's exceptions, like there's loopholes in everything, but you never want to catch yourself playing in the wrong game or running the wrong race.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the competition starts to be bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I even said it in another episode with Colton. Like sometimes the next or the best play is in another game. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like if there's somebody better than you, if there's another business owner that owns a curbing company that does $12 million, like there's obviously, past that cross right there. But you never want to, where competition gets bad is like when you're in the wrong race.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Which I'd agree with. There's, the other part, and I talked about this yesterday, and I wish I would have got your reaction on the podcast because it was awesome. It was definitely like an impactful question, and I'm glad I like put it together this way, because when I was reading about it and listening, because I wanted to educate myself on the topic, like I came across it and I was like, holy shit. Like that's definitely true as well, because most of this has been good. Like you always refer to authenticity just being really, really good. If the more authentic you are, the better off you're going to be, the more successful you're going to be, the more happy, the more fulfilled, etc. Right? But there is that dark side of authenticity, right? That people are going to use to avoid growth, right? I'm sure you're aware of somebody in your life that's been that's just who I am guy. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't do that because that's not who I am. But really what they're doing is just avoiding growth sometimes. What would you recommend for people to get unstuck from the that's just who I am stage?
The first step to solving a problem is realizing that there is one. And I think people who play that card of like, this is who I am, like this is where I am and I have no control over it, is so frustrating to hear, because if you really like, and again, it's reflecting on the internal, like you're not happy with where you are. And if you're not, like that requires action, not just, this is who I am. And it falls back even to what I said earlier. Like you have to look internally and like really self-reflect. And again, not everybody's ideal result of life is going to be the same. Like sometimes it is who you are, but like don't put where you're at. I guess don't, like you're staying in the middle. You're not competing. You're not authentic. Like you're just stagnant. Does that make sense? Like the first competition should always be within yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in that middle of like, this is who I am. I'm going to stay right here and I'm being true to myself, because that's not fulfilling.
Well, I'd relate that back to your story as well too, because like you could have rolled over and been like, oh, this isn't the right time or isn't the position for me. Because when you started with us, you had an S10 pickup truck that barely made it down the highway. You were late to every estimate. We all thought it was because you were sleeping in, but it was really because your truck had a limit on it of like 40 miles an hour and a 60.
It's like 55. It was 55.
55, but it rattled. So really it should have been going 40. But you figured it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like the people that figure it out and don't put themselves in that position of, oh, well, this is just who I am, or this is the life that my parents gave me, or whatever it may be. Like there's always a way out. There's always a way to climb. It's just a matter of, are you willing to put in the time and put in the effort to figure it out?
Well, dude, everybody's got the thing. They've got their thing. Like it's so ignorant to say like, I think the good of authenticity is like everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent or a skill that nobody else can do the way that they do. Does that make sense? And like it's effortless if you're really being authentic.
Yeah.
Like to me, I mean, not bragging, but like it was easy for me to figure it out because like I knew where it was going to take me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a balance, right? But like using it to your strength, like in the same way that it's like, oh, this is who I am. Like this is who I am.
Yeah.
So like I'm going to figure it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just identify as that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, again, I mean, you have to reflect on who you are as a person, but like once you figure it out, like the water is just rushing.
Yeah.
Like it's streamlined as ever.
Yeah. To people watching this, being authentic, does being authentic allow you to escape competition, Justin?
Absolutely. There is no competition because you are better at being you than somebody else is. Does that make sense? Like Childish Gambino said it in a song. Like, don't be mad, I'm doing me better than you're doing you. So
if being authentic clearly sounds like the option, like clearly sounds like the best option, a cheat code to success or being a better version of yourself, why are so many people competing with the guy next to him?
because they're scared of what the guy next to him thinks.
Dangerous place to be.
Yeah. You never want to be, because what sucks is like the guy next to you might be in his lane, like living his authentic self, like being absolutely 10 toes down on like what his purpose is, his goal, and like you're stuck competing with him. And like he's going to run you over. So you never, you want to flip the script. Like you should be the guy that doesn't look left or right, but forward. And behind you is just an army of people that are trying to reach what you're at.
Just stay focused.
Absolutely.
I only have one more thing on a quote to close it out, and I want the most impactful thing that you can give to viewers that they can take away from the episode. And it's going to be a quote. And whatever rolls off the tip of your tongue that you can give the viewers to put into action right now. We're 30 days, like 26 days before 2026, which is when people are really going to try and flip the switch and say, this is a new me, start now. You know you should start now. Everyone knows you should start now. Why compete with the best when no one can compete with me being me?
The strongest position that you can be in is completely disregarding anything but what you want out of life. The ikigai, right? Like what you love, what you can make money from, and what the world needs. And like everybody has that. So find it. Like look within, find it, and just go balls to the walls. Because you will win and everybody will try to compete with you.